Hey everybody, welcome to JLB Sports TV. I am Justin Block, and today I'm here to talk about Raheem Sterling versus Philippe Coutinho. Now, both of them have been in the starting 11 the past month or so, I'd say, ever since Raheem Sterling came really back into the team after an extended layoff, just getting his fitness up, dealing with some injury issues, etc. Now, with Daniel Sturridge out, we've seen both of them play alongside Luis Suarez in the front three, but with Daniel Sturridge back in, and of course you can't drop him, SAS of course, either Coutinho or Sterling will get the axe, I think, in the starting 11. Brendan Rodgers tried to start both of them in an optimal attacking front four against Aston Villa in the first half. That didn't work out well. And then when it became clear that he needed more balance in midfield, have a more balanced overall starting 11, it wasn't Sterling that came off for Lucas to balance the midfield, but instead it was Philippe Coutinho, and I think that'll be indicative of what we'll see going forward. I think Coutinho has lost his place to Raheem Sterling in the starting 11, but still worth having a debate. I'm going to give you guys some stats, then what I see, and then I'm going to ask you guys for what your opinion is based on what I've presented and what you've seen over whether Raheem Sterling should be starting ahead of Philippe Coutinho, Liverpool's number 10, the man on the back of my shirt, in the starting 11. Now, just giving you guys a quick stat pack here. Take a look at this graphic. In terms of attacking stats, there is some separation here, but let's go through it. In terms of goals, Sterling has 1 goal more than Coutinho. They both have the same amount of assists and shots, and this was a really interesting one for me to see. Raheem Sterling has 1.7 shots per match, while Philippe Coutinho takes on 3.7 shots per match as Liverpool's number 10. That's actually second in the team. Yes, Philippe Coutinho actually has taken more shots per game this season than Daniel Sturridge, but of course behind Luis Suarez. And that's something we've seen more of Philippe Coutinho do this year. How many times have you seen Coutinho just, settle around the 18-yard box, around 20 yards, and just have a pop for no reason? It'll be inaccurate, it'll probably be a bad shot. They're reminiscent of Javier Mascherano's random long pops that he had in his last season with Liverpool. They're coming from midfield, they're not good, it's a waste of possession. And it's becoming far too common for Coutinho. He's taking a lot of shots and he's not finishing his chances. I think finishing has been a problem for Coutinho this season, as we've seen in multiple games, and that's kind of reflected in the shot accuracy. Raheem Sterling's shot accuracy is 53%, while Philippe Coutinho's is only 45%. And out of that, I don't know what his chance conversion rate is, couldn't find a stat for that, but I can tell you it's probably not very good. Now, moving on to some more attacking stats in terms of successful dribbles, Raheem Sterling takes on 2.7 successfully, and Philippe Coutinho takes on 1.9. Now, that 2.7 clip for Raheem Sterling is actually second in the team to Luis Suarez, and that just shows Raheem Sterling's qualities. He's pacey, he's direct, he can take on guys, beat fullbacks with his pace and cleverness. So that's really indicative of what Sterling does on the pitch. And in terms of chance created, that's the big stat. That's what you want to see out of your attacking players. They're about dead even. Raheem Sterling has created 26 chances, while Philippe Coutinho has created 28 chances. If we look at the possession stats, there's not much separation here. Each gets dispossessed, a decent amount, not a low amount, not a high amount, but 1.8, 1.4, not much separation there. And they both get fouled about the same amount, which you would expect from small, tricky wingers, attacking players of those molds. Now, in terms of the passing stats, things get a little bit more interesting here. Raheem Sterling only takes on 24 passes per match, and we see Philippe Coutinho actually take on 44.2 passes per match, which is the most out of the front three. In terms of all the players who could possibly be in the front three, Philippe Coutinho is passing the most out of all of them. Because of that, Raheem Sterling's pass accuracy is a little bit higher than Philippe Coutinho's, but we've seen Coutinho just complete and take on more passes in general. All the passes are about the same amount of length, with only a 2-meter separation between them. But in terms of through balls, long passes, crosses, really the types of killer balls that you see with number 10s and with midfielders, Philippe Coutinho is attempting them, while Raheem Sterling just isn't at all. In terms of accurate through balls, Coutinho completes more of them. He has more accurate long passes, more accurate crosses, and it's just not that they're more accurate, but Raheem Sterling is barely attempting them. In terms of through balls and long balls, Coutinho has actually attempted a total of 72 of those throughout the season, without a 52% completion rate, while Raheem Sterling's only attempted a total of 12 through balls and long balls. So Raheem Sterling isn't one that's really playing as many sort of killer passes, not even killer passes, just attempting creative passes as Philippe Coutinho. Coutinho's trying to use his vision and his technique to be productive on the pitch. But despite the disparity in crossing and through balls and long balls, they're actually completing about the same amount of key passes. Raheem Sterling completes 1.5 key passes per match, Philippe Coutinho 1.6 key passes per match. Now, to me, Sterling is more direct. He uses his pace, his dribbling, his off-the-ball movements to be the productive player on the pitch. He also makes great diagonal runs in behind Suarez and Daniel Sturridge. You really don't see that with Philippe Coutinho. He more really supports the front three rather than tries to inject passes or pass to the front three and try to play balls for Sturridge and Suarez, which is more of Coutinho's role to me. We also see Sterling actually track back more and do the dirty work defensively. I mean, how many times this year have you seen Sterling just come in and press and recover the ball or make a tackle or make an interception? So I really like Sterling's defensive qualities. He has a lot of movement in him, a lot of running in him, more so than Philippe Coutinho. Now to me, Coutinho is just a full-on number 10. He likes to receive the ball sometimes 35, 40 yards from goal, turn his shoulders, and really pick out a killer pass or a through ball or a cross. He's somebody that likes to work further deeper in midfield. A lot of times this year we've seen him actually drop deep to midfield, even where Gerrard and Henderson and Lucas or Allen and where those guys play, receive the ball from them and actually initiate and try to take the midfield and bring it into the attack. Either with a through ball or a killer pass, just turning his shoulders and playing that kind of ball. So to me, Coutinho is an important cog tactically just for that worth and what he brings to the side right there. Sometimes for Liverpool it's hard to transition the midfield into attack because we don't really have a world-beating attacking midfielder or as dynamic. I love Jordan Henderson and Steven Gerrard, but they don't necessarily have Coutinho's qualities and the passes that he can kind of play and the vision that he has from that midfield role. But in my estimation, I would actually prefer Raheem Sterling out on the pitch right now. Raheem Sterling is in blistering form, and also given the fact that Jordan Henderson has advanced so well as an attacking midfielder in Liverpool's 4-3-3 shape that I think they'll play, you can see it right here. I am actually perfectly fine with Jordan Henderson as a lone attacking midfielder here and having Sterling act more as a third forward while Coutinho would more in the front three act as a number 10. So all in all, I would really like to see Raheem Sterling be starting over Philippe Coutinho for all the reasons I mentioned and the stats that I mentioned before. To me, I just prefer Raheem Sterling's more forward play, his pace, his on and off the ball movement, his ball recovery is really what he brings to the side as a complete winger, even as a complete forward, you could call him, over Coutinho's values as a number 10. I am comfortable with Jordan Henderson as the lone, really creative engine in midfield, and you can always bring on Philippe Coutinho if it's not working out in the side. That's the beauty of having depth in the side, something that Liverpool hasn't had much of the past couple of years. You can alternate between these two guys. It's not either or necessarily. But for the purposes of this video and for the starting lineup, giving your thoughts down below. Should Raheem Sterling be starting ahead of Philippe Coutinho? So that's what I want to know in the lead up to Derby week. Should Coutinho get the start ahead of just Raheem Sterling or vice versa heading into Everton? Let me know in the comments down below, guys. Have a good week.